Carl, this one hammer is called Durden's hammer. Haha, get it?
Watch your back.
It's like Durin.
Oh. I was
See,
thinking of Tyler Durden, and I didn't get why it was
Yeah, that's
funny.
what I was thinking. I couldn't stop thinking about Fight Club.
There's a Durden.
Tyler Durden. Yeah.
Tyler Durden is the imaginary friend.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. You know, when you say it that way, it just makes this movie sound really stupid.
It can't be stupid. It ends with a Pixie song.
Pixies.
No movies
I was
that
just
end with
thinking-
Pixie songs are bad.
I was just thinking of Tyler Durden as like the psychotic vision from a man in a midlife crisis, kind of, sort of.
By the way, I'm wearing different pants.
You have new pants?
Yep.
That's like some kind of sacrilege.
Now I've got like a red pants with like a triangle butt.
Okay, that's sacrilege.
Did you guys leave?
Tell me when you're out of the dungeon, by the way. Yeah.
Okay.
Can you guys check what dungeons you can queue up for a second?
Like
I want to see if you can do Razorfen Downs or no.
Well, next we should do like Skullomance, right? Or
The thing is,
the other
I'm just
one.
queuing us up for multiple dungeons.
It's
to
not a
improve-
long wait. Let's just go for it.
Okay.
Because we can do Maul, we can do Dire Maul, or we can do Skullomance.
Yeah, we've
Like,
got
that's-
Dire Maul,
that's already
Warpwood,
two.
Skullomance, and Dire Maul Capital Gardens.
Like the puzzles in 3D Zelda are bad, right? Like people know
I
that.
don't like them.
Not
Right.
bad.
Yeah.
Because all the puzzles are like, all right, you're here, walk around in circles until you can find the thing that you can interact with. Okay, you did it, you win. It's like when I watched the Ego Raptor review for Ocarina of Time, I'm like, yeah, this is everything that made me stop playing so quickly. So I'm like, this is just kind of
Wait,
tedious.
Have you played
Here,
Twilight Princess
let's go.
though?
Well, never mind.
I once was in the company of a Twilight Princess copy on Wii, and I didn't like the way it looked.
Oh, I can't enter the dungeon when I'm sitting on you. Great. Teleport the dungeon.
I don't know what it was about about Twilight Princess, but like I put it into the Wii, and I just looked at the like starting town, and then I just kind of stopped playing. Like for some reason, it was immediately something I didn't want to play.
I think my problem with
Recognize
Zelda
this
games
dungeon.
is, yeah, we've done this one. My problem with like 3D Zelda games is most of the bosses aren't like, you know, in Dark Souls where all of the bosses are like you can fight them any way you want, you know, magic ranged.
Yeah, all the 3D Zelda games are like, all right, in this dungeon there's an item, and that's the
forget
weakness of the boss, so you better hit him
Don't
with that
forget the-
item.
Quest from this guy back here.
The big
Well,
guy,
I mean, all the quests from this
No,
guy.
the ogre. There's
Yeah.
an ogre back here with several.
the guy at the beginning, right?
Yeah, I
Yeah.
missed that.
I talked to the ogre and I talked to the big guy, and I got everything.
I spawned in front
I
of the
am
ogre, so I didn't
on
see him.
top of it.
But like the thing I hate about 3D Zelda games is all of the bosses have some weakness that you absolutely have to exploit to even be able to hurt them, like
Right.
to stun them or whatever. And to me that feels like terrible boss design because it's just like, okay, here's a challenge that, I mean, realistically you could just stab the shit out of the guy until he died, but no, you have to like weaken him somehow. I
Yeah,
don't
although,
like that.
although to be fair, in Zelda games, it seems to be obvious enough that it's usually not awful. The problem is tons of other games usually have Zelda-style bosses, and they're way worse.
It
Where
depends.
you don't know what to do with them.
Exactly.
I
I fought one boss in Resident Evil 6 for 30 minutes straight. Because
Oh.
he was not threatening, so I wasn't dying, but I just couldn't figure out how to cause damage or do anything.
played any of the Dark.
I lost that sentence.
Darksiders.
Have you Darksiders?
I played Darksiders for like 4 hours, I want to say. The first one.
Okay.
And I just
'Cause I
kind
felt
of
like-
eventually stopped.
I felt like that improved upon the whole like Zelda thing where like most bosses could be harmed normally, or if they had some kind of puzzle element to it, it was even easier than Zelda.
Yeah,
'Cause,
I don't remember having any problems with the bosses in that game, except I think the one where you fight on horseback might have felt awkward at one point.
Yeah, we'll go figure. My problem with Zelda was, did you ever get up to the Shadow Temple or even see what the Shadow Temple had in it?
Nope.
Or no?
I made
Okay,
it
so
to
the Shadow-
I made it to the Hylian Field.
So in the Shadow Temple, you're fighting essentially just Andross, you know, a head and two hands.
Bongo bongo.
And he will like slam the drum that you're standing on, which will like stun you, kind of, sort
I
of.
like to assume that those
And
are
what-
canonically Mr. Hand and Crazy Hand.
But you
Yeah.
need to use the Eye of Truth.
Yeah, you have to both use the Eye of Truth and a bow to shoot him. And
But
let's
you
be honest
can't-
here.
Really move while you're using the Eye of Truth.
Yeah.
though.
So, like, when you're using the N64, moving while shooting a bow just doesn't work. And using an item either. So it just ends up being, like, a really shitty thing because of the technical limitations. And, like, if there's some kind of, like, virtual reality thing where I can just lob a bomb at a guy and, you know, don't have to fiddle with horrible controls, then sure, it's fine. But I'd much prefer, like, the Zelda style where it's like, hey, you know, if you hit the boss in the eye with an arrow, he'll take extra damage. So try and do that if you can. But
Oh,
I'd still
God.
prefer it if it was like Dark Souls where, you know, you can just kill the boss normally.
Man, I'm just thinking
maybe-
now about how so many bosses are just like the worst experiences I've ever had in gaming.
Yeah.
Like
That,
a
like, they
boss
try and
can
get super
completely
creative
bring
with it
your
and
game
just
down.
fails. Yeah. Oh, yeah.
It's like I had 2 different Resident Evil 6 bosses that I just couldn't figure out how to hurt for the longest time. There was a boss in Dark Sector, which was which is notable for being the first ever game announced for like the generation that was Xbox 360 and PS3, but it took like 4 years to come out and was super late at that point. There's a boss where I couldn't noticeably cause damage to him, and so I was just evading his attacks and wailing on him, and he was just not going down for like half an hour.
I hate it whenever a boss is invincible. Just make them strong against my attacks, but I can still whittle them down if I'm a good enough player. But don't make
I
them
just love
invincible.
health bars, because when you have a health bar,
Yeah.
no matter how kitschy and like video gamey it is, at least you know you're doing something, because otherwise you
so,
can't tell
like-
if you're doing things wrong.
Or at least have it so, like, you know you've done damage to the boss, like they will blink or something.
Because like Dark Sector was by and large like a third-person shooter like Gears of War. So you're just like shooting / doing your crazy mutant melee attacks against the boss, and it's just nothing's happening. And it's just that thing where like he's going through all these different move sets, and I'm like, yeah, I get it, I get all of his patterns, I can easily avoid everything, but I can't tell if I'm hurting him ever, and I don't know what I'm doing
Yeah.
wrong.
Oh shoot, the healer's lagging.
What was the really bad one? Oh god, the final boss of Resident Evil Revelations. Because we actually did a full series on Revelations all the way up to the final boss, and unfortunately Andrew lost the audio. But if he hadn't lost the audio, that would be the most extreme case ever of me straight up raging against a game. Caught
Wow.
on film. I was literally screaming at the game, and my voice is going
Wow.
hoarse and shit. Because the final boss is the worst. Because it's Resident Evil Revelations is meant to be like the old school Resident Evil games, sort of like it. I guess if anything, it's most comparable to maybe 4, I guess. But like the whole idea is that you have awkward controls and you're confined spaces and you're supposed to be spooky surroundings and everything. But the final boss teleports.
Oh.
He teleports
Ew.
and creates duplicates of himself, and I'm like, these are all things that are completely counterproductive to having a game with awkward controls. So like it was like unplayable. It's awful. It is just the worst thing ever. And I'm like, this is the game that people have been critically acclaiming and being like, it's the triumphant return of Resident Evil. I'm like, this is the worst thing ever. I hate it.
I remember seeing Shell play it on the 3DS and just being like, this doesn't look great.
I didn't like the controls for it.
The two of us would just
Yeah.
kept trading off, and we couldn't do it. The final boss would just eventually hit us enough times because it was just seemingly impossible to consistently aim in that game precisely enough to like, because like the whole thing is he'd perfectly teleport at you, and he'd either teleport or he'd duplicate himself, and in both cases there was a specific tell you had to realize in order to get the opportunity to attack his weak spot in like only a couple seconds, and if you didn't hit his weak spot in time,
Ugh.
then he would just wail on you and you'd take your next piece of damage. And so and the game, he had a ton of hit points, so you just had to consistently and perfectly pull off exactly the thing you had to do X number of times in a row, otherwise you would end up dying and start the whole fight over. There's a guy right here, by the way, guys. There's just an invisible dude hanging out in the middle of our group.
Oh, you're right.
I thought I would
That's
sort of...
Seder.
I thought I'd call him out.
There's supposed to be an imp we're supposed to get a book from. You guys see the imp?
Like, I'd rather have no boss fights than bad boss fights. Despite being someone who plays so many boss rush games, because I love boss fights.
Maybe he's down below us.
I don't see him.
I'll be honest, I don't know where we are and what we're doing.
We're supposed to find an imp down
I
here.
kind of blacked out while I was talking about those games, where we're talking about boss fights, and I don't know how we got into this orangey looking part of the temple. Who said? Someone asked about a gimp.
So I asked, where's the imp, and they said gimp. There's supposed to be an imp on that second floor there, but I don't know where he is.
I'll show you a gimp. Just a guy comes out in a leather suit.
I'll quickly look it up. Postlin the Thief.
I figure if we just run around killing everyone long enough, we'll eventually win, right?
Everything is now dead, so...
Oh yeah, right here. There's supposed to be a book of incantations.
Yeah, that's what I'm trying to figure out.
Somewhere in this
Also,
bubble here. Oh, more invisible people.
Oh,
Shell,
sheep.
watch out! They're here for your organs.
I got him.
Don't wake up in
I
a
don't
tub
see
full
him.
of ice. What is the whole tub full of ice thing anyway? I don't get that. I don't know what the correlation is between tub full of ice and stealing organs. So we just have no idea what we're missing here?
I'm looking it up, but
I'm running around upstairs to see if I find anything. But no.
Actually, he's supposed to be on that second floor. I've done this quest before. But I guess he's not there. But unfortunately, I had to open up Firefox, and it takes a while for whatever stupid-ass reason.
Oops, I clicked on the map on accident. Wilson the Thief.
That was weird. Oh well, it's just a quest.
Yeah, it's not even listed as being a dungeon quest, is it? Oh no, I guess it is.
Yeah, it is.
It's super weird though. It just seems to be broken. Yeah, I don't know what to make of that. Let's move
Are
forward
we
though.
leaving the way we came, or are we going forward?
Yeah.
I'd rather play than stand here.
Yeah, I would too. I'm just trying to look it up, but Wowhead, for whatever reason, the first time like you ever open it up, is just it's very slow to open. Took me a very long time.
I still haven't remembered what that old website used to be called. That had a less. I mean, the whole reason I don't remember it is because it had a less good name than just Wowhead.
Oh, I see. You have to like chase him through the instance first.
Oh.
Never mind.
Wow.
That's something they don't describe.
Yeah, there's something that's not very clear if you're following just the waypoint way of doing quests in this game.
And yeah, and if you've gotten used to it, it's just like nope.
I've replaced both my weapons today.
Yep. Well, we've gained 4 levels. Go figure.
Got a big dumb hammer now.
This has been a very productive session. We've only been playing for what, 2 hours now?
Yeah, less than. I'm at 1 hour and 40 minutes right now for today.
Yeah, that's pretty good.
Which actually is longer than it feels like I've been playing. It's because we're having such productive conversation about being propositioned on trains. And not liking Zelda.
Yeah. See, I like the idea of Zelda, but I always there's one boss that just ends up kind of pissing me off for the reasons you described. It's like if you can't figure out the pattern, or there's something about like how you play that just doesn't.
The only game that.
And I don't remember ever getting confused in the 2D ones.
Yeah, the 2D ones they could get a little confusing, but
the Skyward Sword, I'm stuck on the first boss battle with Burning.
Okay.
Because it's the Wii Motion Plus, so
yeah,
you have to have the exact movements, and too often you want to do horizontal slash and it does diagonal, and then you mess up.
You okay? Oh, you're responding to.
Yeah, no, it doesn't read it correctly.
See, I thought Keith had just like pulled a group of enemies.
I don't even want to play the game for that specific reason, because it requires motion controls.
Yeah, no, I hate that, and I'm glad that the new one probably won't. Like, maybe it's optional, but at the same time, I can't play Twilight Princess because of, like, a long-lasting wrist injury. I can't play No More Heroes either for the same reason.
I got No More Heroes on the PS3.
See, yeah.
You play it with a controller.
That could work. But,
a real-life controller, Wander. Like in the movies.
That'd be great. Like, I tried doing the, like, charge your sword up thing in No More Heroes, and I'm like, never mind, this is absolutely horrible.
And now this hat is mine. Now I have a dumb hood on my face. God damn it.
I can at least play Skyward Sword because you know, all I have to do is just swing my entire arm, which works. But the fact that there's like the whole gimmick, you have to slash up, down, left, or right, you know, kind of like a specific slash, falls under the whole gimmick gameplay that should never be part of a serious game. Like, sure, Dance Dance Revolution, you have to do, you know, the dancey type stuff.
I really did like how Okami had the drawing. It's just when
I would much rather have that on a like
a PS3
Wii U gamepad
where
instead.
I had it.
How does
more
it handle
sense
in
in a game where
PS3?
you
Do you
draw.
just
I don't know. I've
Do you
never
just-
played it. I just bought it for like $10 on sale at one point. It's just in my
Well, never mind
collection
then.
online.
Yeah, because I would hate to do the drawing stuff with an analog stick, but if I had a touchpad,
Doesn't
like
the game pause whenever you draw?
Well, actually,
Maybe?
there are some instances in which things are timed. So,
If they're
Yeah.
super specific actions, they might have just turned them into QuickTime events or something.
oh, I'm missing
I
out
could
on some
see
Zelda.
that. That would be maybe okay. It's just one of those where it's like, I don't like it whenever there's like any kind of gimmick gameplay in a serious like decent game, if that makes any sense. Like games that require you to do a mini game to progress.
So every Suda
I
51
absolutely
game
hate it. Yeah.
ever.
Actually one of the reasons why I never got very far in like the Final Fantasy VII game, driving section, hated it.
Yeah,
Just
a lot
could
of
not
people
get used
would
to it.
play Final Fantasy X and then get stuck on Blitzball.
Yep. Well, Blitzball, you can lose on Blitzball if I remember right.
Can you lose and then progress the story?
I think so.
Oh, okay. I don't remember because that game came out when I was 10 years old, and I played it when I was
Yeah.
10 years old.
I don't remember well, admittedly. I played it recently on the PS2 and it was tolerable.
I know that it's a pretty insufferable game to try to complete, like to get 100% completion and get all the trophies
it
because
is.
of that. Because you have to,
Oh yeah.
you have to become like the king of all Blitzball, I think, basically, and
Yep.
you also have to
Oh, yeah.
do that dodge 100 lightning bolts thing.
Yep.
Which is the
I
worst
had a
idea.
Friend, there's a trick for the 100 lightning bolts thing, but
But
like,
it's still dumb,
I-
and it's never.
I had a friend-
There's no trick to make it
Yeah.
fun.
oh god, I'm dying.
You should consider not doing that. Maybe check with
it's-
a clinic or something. Damn you, Obamacare!
So in 7th grade, I had just moved to North Carolina and I didn't have a whole lot of friends, but I made friends with like one guy that could barely see, so we just spent a lot of time playing video games because like we couldn't do much else. And honestly, it was a lot of fun, but our main goal for like the entirety of our friendship, because I moved away and stopped talking to him, was 100% Final Fantasy X. That's all like we did.
Oh, we're supposed
And-
to find a fell vine and use this weird box on it in our inventory.
That's at the very end.
Okay.
The fell vine is like after the last boss, if I remember right. Worst comes to worst, we can backtrack and just have Shell heal.
Unless we killed it.
But no, the whole Blitzball thing was annoying, but at the same time, like 100%ing Final Fantasy isn't particularly necessary most of the time. 10-2 maybe, just because that actually meant you could do some fun things.
I like 10
remember,
too.
like that was like
It had fun combat with the whole, and it had this lighthearted Charlie's Angels attitude going on the whole game.
I liked it. Yeah, I loved.
Oh no,
the
I'm being
combat.
sacrificed. This is way less lighthearted than that. This is horrible.
Okay, well, I'm leaving.
Help!
Bye, Keith.
Help!
See ya. I liked it because it felt a lot more casual than most of the like Final Fantasy games. Did you ever notice that, or was it just kind of maybe me?
It was what compared to other Final Fantasy games?
It felt very casual, like it was just kind of a fun experience instead of anything
10-2?
particularly difficult. Yeah.
At that time, the only Final Fantasy game I had to compare to was 10.
Okay, I did not like 10. 10's combat system was atrocious in
I
comparison.
enjoyed it a lot, but I had nothing to compare it to. But hey, it's one
Yeah.
of the only ones that ever drew me in.
Are you guys still up above?
I just jumped down.
I'm down here with you.
Okay, I'm waiting for the monk, I guess.
I enjoyed the whole part where you're constantly manipulating people's turn order and very aware of how you're affecting it.
I guess I like the idea of that, but I like that better in like a really tactical game. Like, have you ever played any of the Final Fantasy Tactics games?
I actually one of the only Final Fantasy games I've ever beaten is I beat Final Fantasy Tactics Advance.
Yeah, that was a good one.
I've never actually played the original version, which I think didn't. I guess that didn't have judges in it originally.
No, it didn't. It didn't have rules. The problem with that game is like if your characters die, they're like just dead. That's it.
Oh, is that
like,
just the PlayStation
turns.
version?
Yeah, that's the PlayStation version. Also came out on the PSP with like some new features, which I kind of want to play at some point.
Did they like fundamentally change like the attitude of the game basically and its overall tone and make the did they make the handheld one more like child friendly sort of?
The PSP one didn't change, but Tactics Advanced was far more like beginner friendly. Tactics was tough. Like I got my ass kicked by a lot of stuff.
So like was the original Tactics game about a kid like playing in the real world in the snow and then like going into a weird crazy bizarro world with bongas and shit?
No, that's actually a completely separate plot. Like
because that's what happens in Advance, but that's what I was asking is whether they changed the whole thing fundamentally.
Well, Tactics Advanced has nothing to do plot-wise with the original Tactics. Like,
that's what I figured.
It's not one of those where it's a port.
Like it's basically just a different game. That seems to be implied like it's the same game, but it's not.
They never implied that they were the same game. Just it was kind of Tactics 2, but on the Game Boy instead.
Okay. I guess it's from an old enough time where I wouldn't have a good understanding of it, so I just assumed that they came out like at the same time on different platforms. And so at the time, I always thought they were the same game, basically.
Not in the slightest. Tactics was pretty lighthearted as well. Whereas, well, no, Tactics Advance was very lighthearted. It had some like weird kind of screwed up stuff in the background. But just right off the bat, like maybe 3 hours into the game, in the original Tactics, they just like kill off somebody's sister.
They made a sequel to that game.
Tactics 2 or Tactics Advanced R2
Advanced 2
or A2. It's not a sequel. It follows a similar
Advanced
formula.
2.
I know. I've played that one too. It's better, but they're not at all continuations. It's still Ivalice.
Well, yeah, but you would still call. But like new Final Fantasy games are still called sequels.
I guess. I would not call 13 a sequel to 12, though. I just call it another
confusing.
One.
Like they're still arguably sequels. They even number them, and like there's a lot of fundamental connections between all the Final Fantasy games, even if they're new stories.
It's true. The one thing I didn't like about the second Tactics Advanced game was they added 2 new races with a bunch of new classes, except for all of the new races and classes just didn't... Like, they had a couple of classes or a couple of abilities, whereas... Do you remember, like, how many abilities the Black Mage had or the Fighter had and stuff?
Nope.
In Advanced?
I don't remember shit about that game. It's been a long time.
Usually you had, like, 15 abilities or something like that. It was usually a large amount. Whereas, in the second one, you get like a new type of big type character, and then like a character called the Raptor that's essentially just like a dragon girl, and they have like maybe 4 classes, each of them only having maybe 5 abilities. So you just get these like cool new looking races and classes that are completely worthless outside of like very certain circumstances. It was very disappointing.
I think that might be what that might be all the way up until XCOM came out, Enemy Within. Like, Tactics Advanced might be the only tactical RPG type game I played.
Yeah, there weren't a whole lot. There still aren't a whole lot. It's a genre that really needs some love.
Yeah,
because there's
I've never played Disgaea, for example.
Disgaea is good, but it requires way too much grinding So the way the Disgaea games work is like you've got the main plot, which can be done without a whole lot of grinding, but then there's like a bunch of end game content that you have to grind for hundreds of hours to get to, or use weird exploits to get there.
That's really problematic to me, because I feel like a fundamental part of playing a tactics game like that. Oh, I totally forgot about Fire Emblem. I played the first Fire Emblem United States port. I played the shit out of it. But like Fire Emblem's a good example too. A fundamental part of those games being good experiences is very carefully crafted levels. So
Yeah.
grinding involves either, if you're going to have a game with grinding, that means there's either going to be repetition or there's going to be randomization, and those are both terrible for that kind of thing.
Yeah.
Because you're either doing something you've done before or you're doing stuff that's not carefully planned out, so it could just be badly designed.
This is actually something that bothers me about Pokemon, because you can just grind away the challenge.
This guy's
and it's very hard
evading
to balance
infinitely,
it.
isn't he?
Yeah, they're broken. Just come over here.
Okay.
Either they'll come back or not.
Oh, here! Oh god, they're attacking us. Okay,
Nope.
they're back.
Okay.
They're back. Evade. There we go. I'm good.
I actually really hate that about a lot of RPGs, that you can just grind something into being trivial, or exploit a mechanic to the point where it's not fun anymore.
I don't like Pokemon because
challenging.
they're super simplistic RPGs where any depth that is in the game is hidden from you, and you have to find it out through ulterior means because they won't tell you.
Yeah.
I also don't like monster capturing games. I like to have a party of characters, not just random, dumb, faceless, like weird cartoon creatures that don't have personalities or characters.
I guess. I really liked
People
the
become
Dragon
attached to
Warrior
them,
Monsters games. Those were good games.
People
'cause
become
that
attached to
was
Pokemon, but they
deep.
get attached to Pokemon in completely arbitrary and like self-invented ways. They project
Yeah.
project personality onto characters that don't have any because they're literally just
I
a
think-
2D sprite that stands there.
I think they just try to imagine which ones they would want as their actual pets.
Yeah.
Maybe.
Oh god.
Oh god.
Well, I died.
Uh,
well,
yeah,
we
I
win.
noticed. I
The
noticed
healer
that you
stopped
died,
healing
Wonder.
me because all of those little things came after her.
Jesus
And
Christ. That went bad
Yep.
so fast.
I guess I'm just gonna greet all of these things.
Is he gonna... Are they gonna revive us at all? Can they revive us?
Can I revive you?
This guy's-
Not in combat. You should probably go help the healer, Michelle,
Our-
instead of
Okay,
just sitting
I'll
there.
I think
help
our I think our healer is mad.
Well,
I think she needed to be healed.
Did you release, Wonder? Are you running back?
Okay.
I guess our healer is down, so we just have to run back, huh?
yeah, Shell, you can't revive in combat, so if there are monsters near you,
I guess
have to
they're.
kill them.
I guess everyone's gonna die now. What the fuck? This Tauren is blowing a nose horn. Did
Well-
you see that loading screen?
I'm waiting. Shell's killing them.
I'm just gonna run
If I
back.
can survive.
You're doing pretty well. The Warlock is worthless for this.
Okay, now I can heal people. Who needs the healing?
Oh, did I make a mistake?
That said, being called faggots for dying.
Did he call us faggots?
Yeah, the healer called us faggots.
Really? Then why am I
Yeah.
healing them?
I don't.
I needed all
Just
that
don't.
shit. I did
Has a
not need because of
resurrection
that.
pending?
Oh, the guy rolled need on stuff.
Did they
Wait,
just
where are you?
roll?
Are you alright?
Oh, she rolled need on
He
everything.
rolled. The fucker rolled need on the weapon that was going to be an upgrade for me because we died. What
Wait,
a piece of
what's
shit!
This?
Hey, everyone that's in my entire... If I become internet famous one day, everyone's gonna see this video and they're gonna like shit on this guy if he's still playing World of Warcraft. Oh, my inventory's full. I was distracted.
Did you
Wait,
guys
what's
get?
What was initiated or removed?
Just say yes.
Really?
What a
Yep.
piece of shit.
Yeah.
That's like fundamentally not okay.
Kick them.
Okay.
It's
That
not,
makes it so they have to go find the dungeon.
It's not okay for them to need everything just because the group has a wiping problem. I mean, isn't he the healer?
Yeah, like admittedly, we were supposed to intercept all those little guys that
Where are you
That-
guys?
we have to teleport in and out to turn in the quests. Like, we did screw up. We
Yeah,
were supposed
the other
to.
guy left the party too, by the way.
Yeah, whatever. But we were supposed to intercept the.
Didn't we
little
already
guys.
finish the dungeon?
Yeah, we still have to finish the quest or turn in the quest though.
Yeah, I'm already at the beginning though,
Well, that's
because
the thing,
when we
I-
wiped, I just spawned out here.
No
okay.
one really communicates anymore. They just expect you to know the dungeon.
What a
Like,
piece of
Yeah.
shit, though.
Oh well, it's not the end of the world. You'll get a upgrade within like 30 minutes.
We're just sitting here playing. It's like, guys, faggots. I needed all that stuff that you needed, by the way. Fuck you guys.
Oh,
like,
shoot.
Fuck that guy.
We actually have to go back to the beginning to do the Felvine thing.
That's like fundamentally not okay behavior.
No, it's not.
Uh,
By the way, we can jump down here.
I'm a dino. Nah, I'm a rogue.
No, it only does 2,000 damage.
Oh,
Just
God.
make sure you don't aggro anything.
I aggroed. I'm invisible.
It's like the most basic type of enemy. You're fine.
I am
One
fine
minute,
because
what
I'm
are we
invisible.
doing? Because I just wanted to hand in everything.
There's a quest we forgot to turn in. There's a vine there at start that
Where?
you have to purify with the box. Just hop down from the ogre. It's safe.
But that looks like it's a pretty far fall.
It is pretty
You
far.
take 2,000 damage.
It took out 3/4 of my hit
Ouch.
points.
You'll be fine. You can heal yourself.
Where do I go?
You go back to where the last boss is, and there's Felvine that you can purify. I believe.
Now I forgot what we were talking about because of the Mr. Faggots guy.
Yeah. Like, that's the one problem with, like, MMOs, that you can just have, like, one really toxic person, and they just kind of ruin everything for you.
Yeah.
Well, it's why you try to find a large enough group.
I'm glad that I'm glad they let the healer need items that are clearly not meant for healers too. Oh god, I almost died.
Felvine shard.
I almost killed myself just now.
Here it is. It's over here.
I gotta have something edible in my inventory. I should just throw all this food away.
I actually survived that final humiliating bit with all the imps just attacking me.
Yeah.
I was like,
Admittedly, Michelle,
I think I don't
if
have a
you had
Felvine
actually...
shard.
It's these red things on the ground that we're looking at.
Oh, there they are.
I'm looking at.
Okay.
Admittedly, Shelley, if you had actually, like, shot them instead of staring at us trying to figure out how to resurrect us, they would have just all died, and the healer wouldn't have had to throw a conniption fit, but at the same time...
So now we have to port it out and in,
I
right?
didn't even know what was happening, okay? You know...
There are enemies.
I assume we
no.
turn it at the entrance?
Yeah, we have to
Okay.
teleport in and out again.
Where's the
or
box?
out and in. It's in your inventory. It looks like a jeweler's kit.
It's just generally
Very
bad taste to flip
purity.
out just because something goes wrong in an instance.
Yeah. When we were doing some Outland stuff, like I was playing with Shell on a different set of characters, and she just wasn't pulling enough DPS, so the healer voted her out of the group just before we fought the last boss.
What a piece of
Nope.
shit.
This is like just Hellfire Ramparts.
It's not even a hard instance. It's the first instance.
No, it's not. Like
It's
the tank
dumb
and the
orc
healer could have
instance.
just...
It's so easy.
Yeah, the healer and the tank could have just face rolled through the entire quest.
Hellfire
Nobody would have
Ramparts is such a
cared.
shitty instance.
Yeah, like I did that instance with 4 Death Knights and a Gnomish warrior. You didn't even need a healer. Oh hey, oh I found Pucelin, by the way.
Who?
We can do that quest if we want.
Oh, hey.
Guys, I need to sell stuff
Until
at
horrible-
some point,
until
or
horrible
figure
things
out what
aggro on
I'm
us.
going to...
I'm gonna have to just sell all of my meat and
Wait,
and
why
food
didn't I get
items.
the shards? How many shards was I supposed to get?
No, there's
Just
shards on the
one?
floor right there. They're little red crystals.
I did.
Did you
get-
right click on them?
I did get one. I have a Felvine shard, but
Then
Well, now you
can't
now
turn
you
in the
right click
quest.
with your box in order to use the vine.
yeah.
oh,
Oh,
you didn't explain that to
you didn't
me.
use the box.
No, I didn't.
Well, you have time to run back.
Yep.
We're currently
No,
doing the thief
it's just
quest. We
No,
might-
she still has the box and the crystal, so she can just click on it now and she'll be fine.
yeah, but she has to go back to the vine.
That's
It's
true.
the
No,
silly
she got the
vine.
crystal. Oh,
No, the crystal's by the
Oh.
vine you're trying to use the box on. That's the whole point.
I see. Well, the fact that you can jump down saves you an
Yeah.
excessive amount of time, though.
I know. I just have so many items. I'm sick of all this junk.
I just want to point out this little piece of shit goblin's moving so fast I literally can't keep up. I'm about to be out of line of sight with you guys. Because he's so far ahead of me. Because I'm not a fucking super speed
Yeah.
cat and I can't use
Well-
transformations here.
Normally, what you're supposed to do is actually chase him.
Well, normally
Like,
there's supposed to be
initially-
enemies around here too.
Yeah, so he'll go from enemy group to enemy group, so it's super easy to follow him.
Yeah. But now
Um,
I can't even catch up right now.
But we just didn't notice at all.
Because he's a tiny little guy. Gotta keep running. Running. Oh, we were talking about tactics games before. That guy was a dick.
Yeah.
I was like, what the fuck were we talking about? I can't remember anymore. Because terrible people.
Like, apart from XCOM, Fire Emblem, and the now sort of defunct Final Fantasy Tactics series, there aren't really a whole lot of RPG,
Basically,
like tactical games.
Basically just the new XCOM and Final Fantasy and Fire Emblem games.
Yeah.
Which I've heard Awakening's great, and I've played a little bit of it, and I really like it.
Awakening's the one on the 3DS, right?
Yeah. I'm just bad at making myself play handheld games.
It is actually really good. The only problem is
There's what?
Sorry. I got attacked by Pucelin. I wonder if did he loot him, by the way?
I get the feeling he didn't do very well.
No, he didn't. I was trying to make sure I didn't die.
Now, is this going to be one of those instances in which I don't get any credit for that because I'm far away?
Do you have the Book of Incantations in your inventory?
We'll see.
Did you get the completion just now?
No.
You might be able to run here and pick it up off of him.
Yeah.
How far do I have to go?
Oh no, he's just gone.
Oh, he just disappeared. Well,
see, I thought you'd talk to him and get the book.
Follow your nose. Yeah, we didn't know that he was about to try to murder us.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Whoops.
You guys always deprive me of necessary XP.
And enjoyment and happiness. To be fair, your internet sometimes deprives you of XP.
This dungeon is kind of a piece of shit, though. Like, it's not a good dungeon, comparatively.
You're not a good dungeon.
Yeah, I'm not a good dungeon. You probably should not raid my halls.
Now that's all I want to do.